So today we have a very important and special session. I never thought this day would come because I see today that we have a lesson on my least favorite opening, the French defense. But we have Grandmaster Pontus Carlsson to sell it to us as he has been a successful French player and he's a good businessman too. So I believe that Pontus is going to sell me the French today and maybe to many of you. To be honest, before I hand it over to Pontus, I am kind of joking. One of the reasons that I always had trouble with the French was when I played E4, I had bad results against it. So that was one of the reasons I say I don't like it, but it's really kind of a compliment, right? So if you have bad results against the French with white, what does that mean? Maybe you should try it with black, right? And we're going to have Pontus talk about the opening, give a brief overview. Maybe you'll want to play it. And then we are going to have a mini tournament on chess.com. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat for anybody who's not a member yet. Okay. That's going to start at about 11. So be sure to join the group as well. And you can ask any questions in the chat. And now we have Grandmaster Pontus Carlsson to talk to us about the French.
Yeah, hi guys. Today we're going to go through some French. And there were actually we already posted some links, I think, in the chess.com club, and there you can always go back and watch some videos and some instructive videos and something like this. So there should be a bunch of videos, basically, in case you don't remember everything or you want to learn more about the French and so on. So then those videos are very good. So you can always go there. And I think there's like 10 links or something like this. So there's a lot of videos. Did anyone watch some of the videos? Ah, yeah, Yvonne watched some. So Yvonne, which one did you watch?
I watched the one.
Which one?
I watched the winner war variation and the other one.
Okay, so you watched two of them. Oh, that's perfect. That's great. Even if you didn't watch anything, you can still learn the opening, and I'm going to help you with it. It's actually, I think it's quite good opening because it's very flexible. So I will share my screen. So now you should see the board, I think. So this position that we have here, this is maybe what Jennifer experienced sometime. In case, well, did you try the French anytime, Jennifer, with the black pieces? Have you tried it ever?
I did. You know, I had a coach who said because I hate playing against so much, I should try it with black. But it was hard for me, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is what happens many times, you know, when you play the French. So my question to you is that in this position, who's better, white or black?
White.
Who said white?
I think it was Bernice. Bernice, is that you?
Yeah.
So can you expand a little bit on that one, Bernice? Why do you think that white is better?
I think white is better because they've developed all the pieces. The rooks are connected and the knight is active.
The knight, yeah? So anyone who has some different opinion? Someone who prefers black? Does black have any support? No, not really yet. Then here in this position, Bernice is correct. White is better. And the really, really important thing here is the knight, you know? The knight clearly superior to the bishop. And the reason is that black's pawns here, most of the black pawns are on the light squares. And that's something that it's a very common mistake. And it's usually a very costly mistake. Because then there is this famous French bishop, the white light square bishop on c8. And the problem here is, for example, that this bishop is struggling to find a good diagonal where it can get out. And this is what usually happens when white has either played very well or black has for sure done some mistakes. So then you end up with this bishop. And so if you're on the white side, this is like a dream position. This is what you're trying to do. And usually when this happens, then it's quite easy to either pile up on the b file with the rooks, or even go on a king side attack here, maybe even double the rooks, so you can get to g7. Like if you have two rooks, you have one on g3 and one on g4, then you can attack this pawn here on g7, and it's going to be very, very hard for black to defend an attack. So this is usually what white is striving for. When we know what we're looking for, and if you play it from the black side, avoid this, you know. But there is also some hope usually. So the one important thing when you are on the black side is that you usually start already from the opening with a bad bishop. But you can try to activate this bishop. So for example, let's put this bishop here, and suddenly it's doing something. Or if we can put it here, then once again it's doing something. And then the position is not so clear anymore. Even if I still slightly prefer white. So that gives us like this type of maneuvers, like to go here, or maybe the long maneuver that you try to maneuver it here. That's our typical ideas for black, no? And that's how black treats the French. Try to activate this bishop, or even better, try to exchange it. Because, for example, if you are able to suddenly get to a position that looks something like this, then it's not so bad anymore. This is not, white is maybe slightly better, but not that much. So if you can exchange the bishop, that's even better. So this is what we are looking for. So now we're gonna go a little bit into the theory and the start of the French. Basically, how it looks. So I'm gonna start actually with this game. And this is a game between two grandmasters. I think it was Shigalko and Rahmanov, and I played some games against both of them. They usually play in the World Championships in Blitz and Rapids. So I usually play with them there. And they are both very strong, about 2,600. So very good players, close to 27. So this is the starting moves of the French. And you can see here already that we already, as black, has some problems here with the bishop here. Because we put the pawns already on the light squares, and we're going to get a closed center. And then it's a little bit hard for the bishop to get out. But on the other hand, and we know that both me and Jennifer, we like to play the Sicilian. But the good thing with the French is that you don't get usually crushed in the opening, which can happen in the Sicilian. If you are not updated on some new ID, you can get a nasty surprise sometimes. So it's a Sicilian is very sharp, and you need to study there. French is a little bit better in that aspect because it's a lot about maneuvering and understanding. So it's a slower opening. So I've used this many times when I didn't want to get into a very complex game. So then, and that can be perfect against people who are extremely aggressive, for example. Then this is a great opening because it's a lot about strategy and maneuvering. So basically, black gives white a chance here to take a full center, and it can be done with e5 here. And when e5 is done, then you have this pawn chain. And this is a central thing in the French. So black needs to attack the pawn chain always. That's extremely important. How can you attack this pawn chain if you are black here? How can you do that? Any ideas? How can you attack the pawn chain?
Christina says c5.
Yeah,
Knight c6, says Vanessa San.
yeah, c5 is actually better than knight c6 because if you do c5, a pawn chain can be attacked in two ways. You either attack the root, which is the d4 here, the back in the chain, or you attack the front, which is e5. So it can be f6 to attack the front, or c5. And in French, you actually usually do both of them. So you start with attacking the back here of the chain. So c5, and c5 is an excellent move. Knight c6 is actually worse. And the reason is that the pawn, it's already defended with the queen, so you can't really take it. And then since you have blocked the c pawn, you can't put more pressure on d4. So then your only hope is f6 later. So this is a worse way to try to attack the pawn chain. c5 is a much better way. So you attack the pawn chain, and what happens sometimes when people are not familiar to the French is that they don't defend this pawn with a pawn. And remember that to defend the d4 pawn with a pawn, it's something extremely important. Otherwise, what happens is usually that the center collapses. So, for example, you can take here, and then comes the knight, and suddenly, and already here, there's a lot of problems. This pawn is weak, and let's say you do something like this, and then maybe this will come. And already here, there's a lot of problems with this pawn. The knight might come here. It's not a good opening. And we also don't like to move our queens two, 3 times in the opening. So therefore, it's extremely important to defend it with a pawn. And then black will keep on putting pressure, because the black idea here is to put maximum pressure on the back of here of the pawn chain and to make this pawn chain crack, basically, because the pawn chain is restricting black's chances to get out the pieces. Like this knight cannot be developed. So typical opening can look like this. And now white maybe would like to develop his bishop here to e2 or d3 or something like this. But you always have to be careful here with the pawn chain, so that you have enough defenders here. And here there are a couple of different plans. Either bishop e2 is normal, a3 is also another idea in order to push here with b4. And black has many ways to respond. There is, but a key move in the position is always f6 in order to break up the pawn chain. And that's also a way to get out. So like, for example, we can see that we make, what move do we make? Let's make this move. And here, black has a couple of different plans. Either you try to open up everything, so you get like this kind of structure, or black has a slower approach, and that's usually to transpose this knight to f5 to put even more pressure. And the idea of this is that at some point, white won't be able to defend anymore. So, for example, now there is a lot of pressure on this pawn here on d4. So maybe white will need to take here, because you can't defend it anymore with bishop e3, because then the pawn will be lost here. So black is trying in different ways to basically break up the pawn chain. And this can become very bad for white in case you don't remember this rule to defend the d4 pawn with a pawn. Because then you usually, what happens is that you lose at least one of these pawns here in the center. So don't do that. Be very careful with that one. So if c5 comes, the usual response is c3. So that you always can do that. Then, in this game, knight c3 was played. I should also mention that there is the simplest variation if you are up against the French, is the exchange variation. This is by far the simplest variation, but it's not a very good variation. This is more something that you do in order to avoid fury and to get a game. And the reason why it's not a very good variation is that, remember the ideal position, that the idea was to get a good knight versus a bad bishop. And this bishop is already bad. And if you take here, you open up for the bishop so the bishop can develop. So white doesn't have any advantage after that move. So this is more something that you do in order to just get a game and play chess. But in this game, knight c3 was played, and knight c3 is one of the main lines. It's the main, well, it's the most popular line, I should say. Another option is knight d2. I usually play this line, knight d2. I've been playing this for many years, and it's because it's strategically interesting. But there is knight c3 is the most common move. So after knight c3 here, knight f6 is one option. Another option is bishop b4. And bishop b4 is a nice move, I would say, which takes a pin. But then you keep, with the same strategy as always. Attack the center here and force basically white to give up this pawn chain here. That's a huge point. And usually what happens in this line is that white will get a double pawn here. But black loses the dark square bishop. And that can be a problem later. So like if white is able to do a4 and get the bishop out here, it can be a problem later. But on the other hand, this double pawn can also be a problem. And that is the video that Yvonne watched. It's called Winawer, this variation, the Winawer. But in this game, knight f6 was played. And then white goes for the pawn chain again. And now, this is a little bit black's idea, that now we can't keep the rule because we can't make this move. The knight is already here. So then it's very important for white to defend this pawn with everything he's got. So the knight needs to come out, the bishop needs to come out, and we need to keep the center together. So what happened here in this game was that white defended as much as possible, and then black cannot basically reach any kind of success here on d4, because if you take, white will always have enough to take back, and then queen come out, you can do long castle. So it's fine. So therefore, they tried another thing. They tried a6 with the idea to expand here with b5. And then this move came, which is a very smart move. And we'll see why a little bit later, because the bishop comes here. Bishop d3. So white is actually developing and not so interested to castle straight into black's attack here, rather castle here. It's more interesting. This was played. And here, white played a very nice move, b4. And this was the whole point with a3. And already here, white is trying to play against this bishop here. So we will see. This move is also a very nice move. The knight is transposing to d4 so that you can keep control over the position and keep all those pawns on the light squares so you can play against this bishop. And we will see a little bit what happens here. A couple of fast moves here because we have a tournament that is going to start. And now we can see the problem here, that this bishop is not playing. It doesn't participate. So therefore, this was c3 was played, And now the point is that if black takes here, we want to take back with the pawn, and then the bishop is locked in. So, and the good thing is that when you have such a stable position where everything is locked in, then you can just start to attack here because the bishop is not dangerous. So g4 was played, and the idea is to come with f5 and maybe even f6 and queen h6. So you can deliver a checkmate down here. So this was played. And in the game, this move was played, but it would have been better to just play this move. And then next time, go f5. This would have been crushing. There is no really good defense. This move was actually made with a small trick. The idea is that if black takes here, he wanted to trap the queen with the rook move. So he wanted to trap the queen like this, so the queen will be trapped. But I don't think this was the best. It would have been better to take with the pawn. So what happened, just to show you the last moves here of the game, was that white crashed through here very quickly. And this is also a great move. And you can see that this king here looks like it's super dangerous. And it would be a disaster if this pawn is gone, but it's still there. And this is the problem with this bishop, that it can be really, really bad if the pawn's on the same color and it's locked in. So it's important to activate that bishop. And in the game, this was played. And this could have been a variation. So now I need help. How can you decide the game here from the white side? How can white win here? What should white do? I need your help. So any ideas? Any ideas? How can white win here?
Laurel says go queen h6 to add pressure to h7.
The problem is that, well, I mean, I think this is a good move. That also looks very nice. I think it wins. Because basically, bishop takes here, it's gonna come, and it's not much that black can do to stop it. So this wins, yeah. So it wins. But there is a stronger move, or there is a couple of moves that are stronger. I think queen h3 was also suggested, and it's the same there. It's also a great move. This is because then you prepare for taking here with the rook. Also, remember that forced moves are usually the best ones. So I will show you the solution. This move is actually very strong. Because if you just go for checks here, it's extremely effective. Because black cannot escape all the checks. And then white wins. So this was a typical game. And I will just show you one last quick position. In another game, here we have this pawn chain. And this is a game I played with a very good player from Ukraine, Ina Gaponenko. You must have played with her, Jennifer.
Yeah, I remember her. Yes. Yes, she's a very good player.
Yeah. So basically here, I am from the black side. So we should see it from the black side. So in this position here, this is a typical position where white has a lot of space. And in order to do something, to get my pieces out, I need to do this f6 move. So I need to break in the center. And this is the most important thing in the French, you know, to attack the pawn chain, either the front, like here, or the root, d4. That's really what the French is about. So then we should, I will just show you the last moves here, and then we should go to the tournament, yeah, because it's time. And here we can see that basically the whole white position collapsed here because her king was in the center, and I got in this f6 move. So I will just take you through the real basics here.
And give them the choice. So yeah, we're going to start with e4, e6, d4, d5, right? Or yeah. Okay.
So this is the starting position. So it's important to remember this. E4, which is of course the normal first move. E6, preparing d5, and then comes d4, taking the center, and then you, as black, you can't play like d6 or something. It's too passive. You need to challenge here in the center. So therefore, d5 is the right move. And then white has a white choice, you can say. If you don't want to play any theory, you take here, but I don't think it's a good move. Well, I mean, it's not the best move, if I put it that way. It is a very possible move, but it's not the best move. Because, does anyone remember why? Can someone tell me why this is not the best variation for white? Yeah.
It like isn't very complicated.
Yeah.
It's because you want the knight to triumph over the bishop.
Yeah, exactly, correct. So you don't want to open up for this bishop because the bishop has some problems to get out. Thank you, Delilah. So when the bishop has some problems to get out, you don't want to help black. So therefore, the main variations are either to keep control here over the pawn and the center with knight c3. That's the most common one. But then you also have to be prepared that black can do this maybe and give you a potential double pawn later. If you don't like your double pawn, maybe you will try, like me, the knight d2 instead. Because I don't like that double pawn there. So I prefer this move, because now this move doesn't make sense, because then it just helps white with c3. So here, there's black has a wide choice again. They can play in the center with c5. Oh, this was actually a slip, so don't do that. It's better to do this move, for example. So, but then it can also be this type of isolated queen's position. So this isolated queen's pawn you can get if later at some point white will take here. We have an isolated pawn here. Or if you don't like that, you can try to take with the queen. So this is also possible openings to play. Knight f6 is another thing that is possible to play. This gives you a very similar position to what we have seen before, with the pawn chain here and black's plan. What is black's plan here? Let's say white makes this move. What should black do? What should black do then? Because the black pieces are not very good here right now. Black needs to free their position. How can you free your position here as black?
Key move in the French, guys. Don't forget this.
c5.
Yeah.
That's correct. Attack the pawn. c3 comes. You continue to attack. And then we can see like a typical thing that can happen here. After this, for example, now there's more pressure here on d4 than there is defenders. And if this comes, then c4 will come. So this is a typical position where white can no longer keep control here over the center. And then what happens then can be that f2 is hanging. And let's say that try to defend that. and maybe this comes, and then suddenly white cannot defend this e5 pawn anymore. And this is what can happen, and this is black's idea, to basically give white a chance to build up this center and then crash it. That's the whole idea with the French, you can say. So it's a tricky opening.
All right, guys. So the tournament link is there. We've got only 5 of you registered so far. So we definitely need more of you to register. I know a couple of you might not be able to play because of time or whatever, but definitely want you all, as many of you to play as possible. So if you can't join the tournament, it's probably because you're not a member of the club. So yeah, let me know ASAP if that's a problem. I keep checking to see if there's more club requests.
Yeah. To do that,
okay.
and also to play like 1 or 2 rounds if you need to go or something later, is better than to not play at all. So,
Yeah.
So join the tournament. You should definitely join the tournament.
Okay, looks like everybody who wanted to join has got in. Excellent, and we're about to start. We are there, 17 players, not bad. Okay, let's see where we're gonna start. Let's start with
Maybe we can get one more.
yeah, for next rounds. Okay, let's start with Little Night Night and Liz Cassidy.
Elsie joined the tournament.
Excellent. We've got Faith is playing indeed. Good. We've got the advanced variation. I love this line, Pontus. Good start. Great game so far.
Yeah, and there comes the most important rule here. This d4 pawn needs to be defended with c3, the pawn. So that's excellent. So the start here looks lovely.
Yeah, so let's see if now, okay, Liz plays knight c6.
Another great move.
Good.
Another great move. So they're doing good.
And here it's where it gets a little tricky to play with black if you don't know the French, because you can't easily develop these, right? So you have to understand that you can hold off on that because the French is such a closed opening. You don't have to develop your king side as much as you have to. Great.
This is two great moves. So this is 2 experts.
Oh yeah, they're playing great.
Yeah.
Now the funny thing is, like, a3 looks like a bad move, but it is a type of move that you play in the French. Again, you don't have to develop quite as quickly because it's such a closed position. That's why it's hard for a lot of people to understand this opening.
Yeah, no, they play excellent. All this is really good theoretical moves. And basically, this is another great move. And the whole this.
So what about this move, Pontus? This isn't theory, is it? A6?
No, not really, actually. It's slightly better to keep on with the plan there to attack the d4 pawn, to get like the knight into, because there was a chance for white to take the knight.
Oh yeah.
And that's basically is the reason why instead of a6, you can show that the knight, if you can go back 1 move. Yeah, this is the reason why a6 is not the best move. But if you go with the knight there, you can attack the d4 pawn. So then b5 that black was afraid of, the pawn move b5, you can actually take the pawn.
Free pawn. And if I go here, it's a little tricky, right? Because you've got like a5. Sometimes it's annoying. I guess now we have b5.
Yeah, here actually what black many times does is that black even neglects the kingside castling a little bit and plays h5. So the pawn there.
To stop the knight.
So stop g4, and so that white cannot kick the knight. That's like a typical move in this line. Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so black is developing, but and here, this comes a great move. This move is lovely. This is a fantastic move.
Very thematic in the French. Like c5 is really thematic, but also f6, because at some point, if white does a really good job of protecting this pawn, we need to switch to some other way to get some breathing room for our pieces. And oftentimes it revolves around this f6 move. Yeah,
f6 is a crucial move in the French. And also the good thing here, you can see that the knight there on h6 can now get back and sneak into the game through f7.
Oh
This is
yeah.
also very typical. And
This is a
black,
great game. I mean, can you believe
yeah,
these ratings? 1,000 and 1,300? It's crazy. They're playing like 500 points better than that now.
yeah. Well, I mean, this is more or less Fury everything. So it's you can say even more than 500 points. It's very good, excellent up. And this is
Interesting.
also a fantastic move, Queen C2, attacking H7. And here, this is an interesting moment, because now Elizabeth needs to choose here if she's gonna lock the game with like F5, or if she will try something else, a more tactical game. But of course, if you do something else, you have to calculate as well. And
Yeah, great move.
but
Because I think White was in a bit of trouble if he doesn't make this move, Queen C2. Just because Elizabeth's game is starting to just like really develop very fast. Like if takes on F6, Bishop takes F6, there's a lot of pressure on this pawn, and this rook is also potentially well poised. If black gets E5 in, it's always like really nice for black because they also get like pressure against F2. So yeah, I like this move a lot. Queen C2, very elegant move. F5.
yeah, so F5 is also the right way to react, So they're playing very good.
Yeah, because G6 would have been bad because bishop takes G6.
Yeah, that's a nasty trick.
Yeah, and now White is actually winning because we get the 2 pawns plus the knight.
Yeah, that's a very bad trick that you need to avoid. And this is typical the French, it's a quite slow opening here. So but black is maneuvering slowly. And here it's important to think about the bad bishop there on D7. Like if you can find a way, this move is also very thematic. It's a very thematic move. And this as well. So it's great chess, I have to say.
Amazing chess.
If you go back a little bit, Jennifer, I will just show one very nice plan here. Actually, the best move here, it's a very surprising move. It's actually Knight A7.
Oh, Knight A7. Okay, yeah.
And the whole idea is that you want to get because the bishop on D7 is so bad. So you always want to exchange that one off. So if you can get to B5, so let's say that, okay, White makes the rook C1, we can say. Just to make a move. And then bishop B5. And bishop takes. And then you can take with either the knight or actually even the pawn. It looks horrible, this move, pawn takes. But it actually makes sense if you take with the pawn. And then you can put your own rook on C4 very soon. And this actually creates a lot of problems for White. Because suddenly White sits with the bad bishop on B2.
True.
And black is just better. So this is the best plan. That would have been the best plan.
Yeah, and this is the kind of position, Pontus, I don't play the French, but it looks to me like I could play King H8, Rook G8, G5, or just get G5 in at some point. Like start being aggressive on the other side.
Yeah, you can, but you also can play on the queen side. Just keep everything there because you are actually better on the queen side as well.
Like just Rook C8 and Rook C8.
Yeah, you just need to improve your pieces because the French is a lot about improving your pieces. So like,
how do I improve this one?
If you can get the rook to C6, the queen to A6, the knight transfer between, through
the C8 to B6. Okay, yeah.
And then into C4 or A4.
Yeah.
Kind of slow, typical French maneuvers.
Yeah, good point. Because like I was thinking about this knight on A7. It's pretty bad now. And Pontus is pointing out a really important maneuver: Queen A6, Knight C8, Knight B6, Knight C4, or A4. Very good point. Okay, let's catch up with them.
Yeah, and then you like take over the initiative, and this is the French. That's how this opening works.
Okay,
and
so
the key is to like improve your pieces, basically. That's the French.
By the way, Elizabeth did improve her knight, but
this is a lovely move because now the knight can come to B6,
or G6 as well, also possible here.
Yeah, B6 is actually would have been even better because then you would have got that. So if you go Knight C8, Knight B6, then the A4 pawn is really an attack.
Right, right. That's a good point because she put her pawn to b6, but now it stops you from ever getting your knight to b6.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So that was a slight mistake, but I mean the game is really good.
yeah, I mean, a small positional error. Okay,
Ooh,
whoa, good
that's a big
move.
tactical error.
Yeah, she played so well. Oh, but let's see what happens because her opponent's in time pressure. Can little knight. Oh, getting a
Okay,
little
some
bit of
pawn.
counterplay here. Very good fighting spirit by Elizabeth.
Well,
Who's
the
little
knight.
knight again? Is it?
Yeah,
Is that
that's a great move. That's an excellent move. Trapping the knight. Yeah, this is also a
H6?
very good move. Yeah, so they're playing really good. Because there's also some problems because it's a very locked game. Oof, that's a mistake. You should, when you're down, you should really try to avoid it more further exchanges.
Yeah, I would take with the pawn. Yeah.
Yeah. So the pawn is the right way to take. This is a mistake.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
a mistake.
Yeah, and wow. Well, this is an exceptional game by both players. Really incredible game. Who's Little Night Night? I can't remember. I know it's an American player, but I can't remember which one of you she is. So let us know in the chat after the game because you only have 19 seconds. Let's see another game. Is there any other? Oh wow, no. Wait, where am I? Any other games still going on? Just
Yeah, there's
Christina
two
Liz
games going on.
versus Faith.
You can check.
Oh, this is
This is interesting.
Yeah, white
Ooh.
queen versus rook and
Yeah, here it's important to try to find a double check, or basically a check.
double attack.
Yeah,
Well
there
done.
it is. There it is. Yeah.
See how it went at the beginning. Good. They started correctly. Okay, yeah, and
Yeah,
remember.
but here comes a bad move. The knight to c6 is not the right move. You always have to play c5. Knight c6 is wrong.
Yeah, and this is a concept that echoes in other openings as well. Like if you think about d4, d5.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I can't show it because it's the French, but
Yeah.
in general, yeah, like the knight in openings where you want to get your c pawn into the game to open up lines, you don't want to put your knight ahead first because then you won't be able to move this pawn.
Yeah, so here you don't get enough pressure. So if you move on a little bit, see what happened.
That said, she did a good job playing for f6.
Yeah, this is the only chance. So that's a great move. It's the only chance when you have done this. Because you don't get enough pressure there. Oh, what happened?
White won on time.
But she lost her.
But wait, how'd she lose her queen?
She lost the queen somehow.
Yeah, she just probably pre-moved here.
Oh,
maybe a mouse slip. Must have been a mouse slip.
Probably a mouse slip.
But she still won. Wow.
Mouse slip is hard.
I think we're in round 2 now.
Yeah.
There's still one game, I think.
There's still one game going on.
Oh,
Yeah.
the game between our friends here. Let's see where we are. Only 7 seconds left for Little Night Night.
Well, she gets more time, so I think this.
Hey,
If she doesn't fall asleep, she should win it.
while we have almost everybody here, before people trickle out, can I ask people to turn off their cameras and say hello so we can do a quick photo while we're waiting for this game to finish?
You mean turn on the camera?
Yeah,
No
turn
problem.
on the camera. Everybody turn on the camera who's still here and say hello. Very good. Vanessa, you got what you need? All right, Judy, can you turn it on if you're around too? Bernice, Judy? Kimberly, I don't think that's our Kimberly. Oh, different Kimberly. Hello, Kimberly. All right, beautiful. Very good. Hi, Faith. Good to see your face. Evie.
Hi.
Excellent. Liz is actually playing, so I won't bother her. But do you want
Hi.
to say hello or everybody wave hello? Hi.
Hi.
All right. It's so great to see everybody. Yay. Round 2 is about to begin. Good job. That was an amazing game. Who's Little Night Night, by the way? Who's Little Night Night? Skylar? Oh, Daisy. Okay. Wow. That was a great game, Daisy. Whoa. Good job.
Yeah, it was very nice. Excellent game.
Daisy, I don't think you play very much on chess.com because that rating is very low for the strength that you're playing. Tosha, did you need something?
Yeah, I can't find the games on the club. I can't find the event.
Oh, let me give it to you again. Put the link there again.
Also,
Thank you.
huge fight there with Black winning on time. Just when White was about to catch the last pawn, it was very tense game.
Oh wait, Black lost on time?
Yeah, no, I think White lost on time, no?
Oh, you're right. Oops, I didn't notice
Yeah.
that. Yikes.
It's,
Yikes.
yes.
That's why Liz is playing on the top board. Okay, well, let's see this game. Okay, well, we kind of wanted you guys to play D5 for the thematic purposes, Sujana, but you know, D6 is obviously an opening. I don't even know what it's called, but let's move to another game that's more typically French. This is
This
tough.
is not French.
Too passive. It's
This
not
is
your
not
fault,
French.
Sujana, because I know you probably don't know the French, so you just kind of like maybe you play the perk or you're trying to get something similar to it, but it's not even the perk because you don't have your bishop on this diagonal. So yeah, it's not a fun opening. White should have a nice advantage. Let's see.
Yeah, this looks very correct.
Good so far. C3, excellent.
Ah, that's perfect. Always
Right.
remember this, that you need to safeguard this d4 pawn with another pawn, not with a piece. That's super important.
Naomi. Okay, now queen b6 before knight c6. Will that
Yeah, that
transpose?
works. That works as
Okay.
well, because there is actually a funny idea here that is also playable that I didn't show, and that's that you wait with developing the knight, and that you instead, if you go back one move,
People's games.
Bishop d7 and bishop b5.
yes, you exchange of the bishop early.
Yeah, I've seen that before too.
Yeah, that one is a thematic idea.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
one of,
actually not a bad one, actually, either.
yeah, you get a lot of good strategic strengths by trying to play bishop b5 and you give up some time. So it's like it's a really interesting idea. Instead, bishop e3 to defend the pawn, and now black just goes for it and takes the freebie. Will this be will she live to tell the tale of grabbing a free pawn? That is a question.
Yeah, but this is exactly what Black wants, you know, that you attack the d4 pawn and White tries, you know, to defend it with all means, and then the b2 goes. This is a really one, so it's excellent play there by Christian Alice. Exactly. But one important thing here was that we saw this knight e2 there in the fourth move, which is not standard, because you rather want to have the bishop out first before the knight comes to e2, because now you can see that there is a problem to get out the f1 bishop, because we put the knight in the way. So it would have been better to do it the other way around, basically first the bishop and then the knight.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe she can trap the queen. Oh, there comes a very, very weird move. F5. That's
Dangerous.
another French. And well, after
I don't like e5.
After d5, you have a French, you can say.
I don't like e5 because here's the thing: when your opponent makes a move that's weird, let's see. This is really instructive, by the way. Don't worry because e5, like at first glance, it looks like a good move, but let's try to break this down logically. Logically, when our opponent plays f5, they're opening up this line, and they're opening up this line potentially too. So, do we want to close the game or do we want to open the game? We want to open the game. When our opponent makes a mistake, in general, a lot of times we want to open the game. But especially here. So
yeah, this is correct. But I think maybe they're trying to play what we have been going through. So let's see what happens after e5, because if d5 comes, it's basically a French again.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like their opponent is having some internet connection issues. 'Cause they
Yeah,
only played one
connection
move.
issues. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still instructive. Like it's something that happens quite a lot. Your opponent plays a move that's not theory, and you play what you were planning to play against theory.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a dangerous thing because it sometimes makes you miss like even better moves. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. We've got all Kenya battle here.
Oh, but this is the game we saw first now with D6 or something now, or no?
No, I think it's a different one.
This is a different one? This. Okay, how was the start of this game? Because it looks, now it looks very
True. Let's see. Okay, what
promising
happened?
for, the knight C6 comes there.
Yeah, okay, so people
I'm not a
remember to play
fan.
D5.
Not a fan of that one.
Remember to play D5 here, and then play for C5 if they play E5. Don't. You got
Let's
it.
see here.
If you're playing the French, you don't want to play more passively after you play the French because it's going to just be way too passive. You got to follow it up with that aggressive D5. All right, we didn't look at Faith's game with Vanessa. Let's see this
No.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
D3.
Well, that
Okay,
is-
yeah, this is actually, I mean, we can't be critical. This is actually a variation. It's the King's Indian attack. It's actually a way to deal with French.
and Bobby
this is okay.
Fischer. Bobby Fischer played it to some great success.
Yeah,
right?
no. This is a very serious variation actually. But I still think that in young age you should try to do D4 because it's more developing.
So yeah, Knight D2 and Queen E2 are the main moves here. Bishop F4 doesn't really seem correct because
No, this is usually what happens when someone is used to play the London, and I think a couple of the girls are used to play London, so then they just make exactly like you said, they just make these moves that they have trained on. But Knight D2 is actually the move. But okay, Bishop F4 in one way makes more sense than Knight D2 because you don't enclose the bishop. But here we can see some problems with the pawns here. But
okay, let's see what we have left now. Let's see Liz's game against Sujana. Oh, interesting. So Liz has 2 rooks versus a rook and a bishop, but she also has some extra pawns. So it's looking very good for white.
Well, this is interesting because this time she has bad time. So we'll see what happens. Oh, this looks
Nice move.
interesting. Ooh.
Maybe, yeah, she could have just taken that and been up a
Yeah,
rook.
that would have been much better to take on e5. But this is the thing, time is a factor.
Yep.
So now it's fast blitz.
Still, of course, very good for white because she's got an extra exchange and this bishop is still pinned, but not easy with the time to figure out how to convert it.
Yeah, she has to make a move. I don't know if this connection is.
Maybe there's some connection issues, yeah, because it looks like she's losing on time. Yikes. All right, good job though, hanging in there by Sujana.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Where's Bernice? Bernice said I think she had an issue getting paired this round, but we're already in round 3. Oh, there she is. Let's see how Bernice does with this. She's Bobby Reader.
Yeah. This is Bernice.
We haven't gotten a chance to look at Bernice's game yet.
So this is correct. So let's see what goes on here. It seems like some of the girls have connection issues today. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the Kenyan girls are having some connection issues.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, that can happen, and it's nothing to do about it. It's internet is a funny thing, and it's not always our best friend. But it's important. This is just trading games anyway, so it's not like the online chess Olympiad or something. This move I'm not a big fan of because then you actually help white to secure this pawn chain here. So this is not a good move. Always remember to attack the pawn chain with the C pawn c5.
Now,
This is the right move.
the reason they might be getting confused is because against knight c3, well, you can play bishop b4, right? But
Yeah,
that's completely
exactly.
different. Completely
It's
different, right?
big difference, because then you can always take there and give them a double pawn. So it's totally different.
Whereas here, they want to play c3 anyway, so you're just actually giving them a free tempo, so not good.
Yeah, no, that's a problem. Yeah, here it's a little bit mix of the, and there you see the problems, you know, like when you don't do those c5 and f6 moves, there is no chance to get out the pieces, you know. So then this knight h6 comes. But this is here, it actually is good for white to white can find some way here to maybe destroy the black structure. So it's important to do those f6 and c5. You need to attack the pawn chain with the pawns. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you don't get space for your pieces. So we will see here what happens. It looks like white played knight f3. Yeah, and then
Oh, sorry,
course,
bishop f4.
bishop f4 was played. Castle, okay.
Yeah, obviously she could take right away.
Yeah, take is good, you know, like this, because then you actually have the better structure, and then just play normal moves like bishop out, bishop d3. This is an excellent diagonal for the bishop, and then short castle, for example, and just develop piece and start to play.
Yeah, I wish I could play this, but this is an adequate defense.
Yeah, this is a good defense.
But
and
it might come up later. Might come up later. I might be able to play h4.
You can also get back with the bishop. So if you do queen d2, you can play bishop f8.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, and then go to g7 and then come with f6. This is actually a very common plan if this ever happens.
So queen d2 is not that special, but now castles, now she takes on h6 because now she realizes that the king is going to be shattered. Wow, very
Natalia.
nice finesse. I kind of like that.
Hi, Natalia.
That's a good idea. So after pawn takes, and here it's very important to take back. You need to take the material, because sometimes players are afraid to take this bishop because they open up the king side, but you can't just lose a piece. You have to take there.
Yeah, you got to try.
Yeah, no,
go down swinging, as they say, right? You got to go down swinging.
You don't even have to go down. Maybe she will use the g file for herself, you know, for just play the king there, and then you use the g file for your rook, you know. Maybe you are taking white down on the g file, you know. So you this, I love this idea. I love it. This is such a good, excellent idea.
Look at Bernice. Yeah, Bernice and Faith are both playing really well in this game. I see them both very focused also. If you look at their chess faces here, you see Bernice and Faith playing some good chess. Very good chess today, especially considering that I don't think many people here have a lot of experience with the French. But despite that, they're still playing really well.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that, you know, you have to start somewhere, you know, and this is an excellent way to start it. You go there, you play this in this kind of tournament.
Oh no, she missed it.
But this was an excellent idea, because this is actually the best way to try to use this destroyed king side that black has. You know, you create a battery there with the bishop behind the queen. It's a lovely way to do it, and exactly f5 is the way to
only move.
Only move, and pawn takes, and then rook f7.
And then you try to take this next move, but this is scary.
Knight e5 actually wins, so
So maybe really better to do queen d. Well, no, knight e5.
It's the same. It's even worse.
Yeah.
You have to give up an exchange, do rook f7, and then defend the rook with the queen. But of course, white is just much better.
So bishop g5 was very problematic. You had to do rook g8.
Yes.
Now if queen d3, we have rook g7, just cozy up here.
Exactly. This was the only way to defend. But even then, you know, the knight on b1 can take a long route. So d2, f1, g3, h5.
Very good
And
point.
this is typical French, you know. Yeah, this is the best, and then white will have to do b4 actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to kick her queen out
Yeah.
because it's aggressive here, attacking this.
Yeah.
But Pontus points out b4, and now if bishop a6, you have b5, right?
Yeah, this is what the French is about, you know, maneuvers, you know. This and it's not like Sicilian many times is quick tactic, you know. It's like one move, two moves tactic. Here you can see that already in these games we have seen many examples of it, where there's plans, you know, like 5-6 moves ahead. So French is a long-term opening where you have to work with your strategy, you know, to get the pieces to the right squares.
What do we have here? Are we in round 4 already? No, somebody's still playing, I think. Oh, this one. Okay, this is the last game.
Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting because this is that's an important move, f6. Because otherwise, you know, there's always the back rank mate that you have to be very, very careful about. This is very drawish, but when you play this kind of end games in blitz, everything can happen, I think.
Yeah, especially with Liz just going right in for the active king. Can she figure out a way to win this? Oh! Yeah, tough one. By the way, let's go back to the opening itself. This is called the finger slip variation. Have you ever heard of that?
This is actually a gambit, you know. And I think actually that White was doing good there with d5 instead of there was some moment there where.
Oh, they're gonna play d5 somewhere.
Yeah, here I would already, instead of queen g4 is already an option, but here it would definitely be an option.
d5 and now knight f6. We have all sorts of funsies here. Maybe queen d5. This is a nice move. So like this looks very interesting, you know, like you have like long castle or bishop b5, and bishop b5 is probably or
best.
take first and then castle.
I think bishop b5 is actually very good before taking as well.
Oh yeah, that looks good too.
So like you get, this is dangerous, you know, very, very dangerous. I wouldn't like to be black here. Let's see what's happening here. Does black have any chances now coming in with the king? Black has chances. Black has chances because the king is very active. So even
good move, g4.
Yeah. Oh, now it goes really fast. Maybe a bit too fast because there I think that black really shouldn't have taken there. Because now it's a lot of interesting developments here. Yeah, let's see what happens. Black could try to make 3. Oh, okay. h6, g5. That's, h5 there was the move. Yeah. Go for that other pass pawn. They're playing too fast here. Because now white is doing good again. A bit too fast here. All right, this is the last game, guys. After this game is over, we'll be in the last round. So we will see here what goes on. Wow. They're playing too fast. She had to stop. Right idea, but you had to stop this first, right? Yeah, they're playing too fast here. Play bishop f6 and then king b4, and then you can try to win. Yeah. Yeah, but here they're playing a bit too fast, you know? Yeah, explain what you mean, because it's a blitz game, so sometimes people get primed to play really fast, but there's a 2-second increment. So in the end game, you can actually sometimes slow down a little, right? Yeah, because here, you know, the most important thing is in this kind of end games, is to find a position that is safe, basically. So if you go back a little bit, Jennifer. Yeah. Let's go back a couple of moves before this mistake was done with king before. There. So like the safe position for white here would be to put the bishop on f6 so that the bishop basically controls b2. And then, if you have that position, you can start to act like with king c3, king b4, king takes a4. So you need to find that safe position where you know that nothing bad can happen. That's super important when you play blitz, especially to like find that safe position where you know that nothing can happen. And that it can be definitely worth to think like 10-15 seconds, even if you have only a minute left to
Here
find
she
that
goes,
position.
cutting off the king.
Yeah, this is excellent technique. And now it's important just to not overdo it.
Yeah, don't go there.
That's why I always prefer the other method, because then if you play, especially if you play like this, blitz, it's very easy to you can even slip, I've seen this as well, that someone did
Yes,
this
exactly.
and they slipped, they did everything correctly and then they slipped in the last queen b6 there, so it's stalemate. So it's very important to online is something different. When you play online blitz, it's something totally different. Oh, here was also one.
That was
another
also a
game
long game. Wow, good job, Daisy. Very well.
Very
good
long
play.
game.
All right, let's see where we're at now. Last game. Last
game. Susanna is leading, no?
Sujana's got 3 out of 3. That's right.
Yeah.
Good job.
I think she's leading.
Who's she playing? Where is she?
So.
Oh, she's playing Bernice. Let's check that out. Okay, this will be a game.
Yeah.
Nice, Sujana. Advanced.
Yeah, advanced French. So game on. And this is also something very important it's very important for Sicilian players to actually study a bit of French as well. Because the thing is that in Sicilian, you always strive to play d5. And there's many positions where white responds e5. And then you actually have a French.
Yeah, good point. You do get it sometimes. Oh, very interesting. The problem here is that this f2 pawn's now on take.
Yeah,
otherwise,
that's a little bit early. And
if we could castle, it would be really good for white.
This is what black wants, That's because here the center cracked a bit too early. She should have kept. Oh, now you can see some problems here, and now you see the weakness here.
I see what she's thinking though. Like if you play bishop d3 and they continue with like bishop d7, yeah, you could try here.
Yeah, here it works. Exactly. This is different. And that's also a very smart move there that you had bishop d3. You should show that as well.
Because now the bishop would actually be trapped in this position, which is actually kind of a nuisance for black, right? So
I've played that game a couple of times actually from the white side.
Yeah, that's a good trick to know. Yeah. So what were you going to say about bishop d3?
This move is really, it's a very important trick here because it looks like the pawn is hanging, but it doesn't hang. So because of bishop b5 here, and then you actually win the queen. So this is a trap.
Classic discovery. So instead, what usually happens here is black plays bishop d7 to threaten takes on d4, or sometimes they take first and then play bishop d7, and now the pawn's legit attacked.
So then you have to move like the bishop again and so on. So that's
or you could sack the pawn. Right.
Yeah, or sacrifice the pawn, of course, but that's then you really have to study. Otherwise, you are pawn down.
Exactly. Okay, well, let's see what happened here. So now black does win a pawn.
Yeah, I actually would have preferred to take with the other way around, to take with the knight first, because then you have a double threat again on b2. Well, you have triple threat. So it's very hard this for white, because f2, e5, b2. Everything is hanging, and you shouldn't give up the bishop.
Be ruthless. But Bernice, I think she was also thinking that a queen trade would be good for her because she's ahead of pawn. But it's always good to be ahead 2 pawns first. 2
pawns is more than one. So you sometimes you usually agree this is something bad, but sometimes it's actually good as well.
Yes, we're teaching a math here too, right?
Okay. But I think she was eyeing. I know what she was eyeing. This fork here. think that was the thing
Yeah.
that she saw. She did
Got to
this.
play knight a3.
Yeah, knight a3 is the only move. Otherwise, it's
Or you could play here, I guess.
yeah.
too.
This also works. Yeah,
Yeah.
but black is of course better. But knight c3 doesn't work. This is.
So now, yeah, now Bernice.
But
is
okay,
like-
she gets some compensation.
Yeah, wait. Okay, knight a4, bishop a4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But wait, black's up a whole exchange, right? Yeah.
Black
so
is up in
lots of fun.
exchange, so it looks good for black.
Yeah. Let's move to another game. But
But you never know. I mean, she's starting to attack
Yeah.
over there. So
she's not giving up, that's for sure.
yeah, no, not at all. She never give up.
That's right. That's the way to be. Well, this
Oh,
looks
this looks really interesting.
juicy.
This looks nice. Looks
How'd this
like
go?
a Tarash variation. This is the first time I see this. Oh, yeah.
Good.
I'm not a big fan of this knight c6 again.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's something that the girls need to stop doing because it's not the right. But f6 helps a lot. So
To justify it. Yeah.
one really good move in f6 and one thing that can be improved there with knight c6. But if you go back, here you can see the problem a little bit with the bishop there on c8. That it's locked in and doesn't participate in the game. If black just could get in e5 somehow, then there would be another thing. That would be a totally different game. But if white is correct, it's not going to be possible. And many times in this type of positions, white even puts the knight on e5. So e5 is never possible. And it would be an excellent move here, for example, knight e5 to come with that kind of idea. And then the second knight to f3. That would be
Yeah.
killing.
Instead, knight g5.
Yeah, that was
also
considering knight e5. Knight g5 is even stronger because e6 pawn you can't defend it basically. So this is correct. Knight g5 is a good move. But
Yeah, I wish I could go knight g4 here, but you have the
Yeah,
queen here. Yeah, I need a way to get my pieces into the game.
yeah. She's trying here, but it's a little bit too brutal.
Yeah, she needs her queen to be able to get in for this to work.
Yeah.
Well done. Very, very nicely played by
Ooh.
Elizabeth.
This is
Yeah.
killing attack here. Oh, this is a lot of nice moves here.
Nice. Very well played by Elizabeth. Really creative. It's like, I mean, you're totally winning, but it's kind of like 91 is a cool move to see. I guess 95 also works, but
Yeah, no, this is
Yeah.
a difficult move. It's a backwards move, so it's a tricky move.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Let's
Yeah.
check our top board again. See how they're doing. Let's catch up to the current
Oh,
position.
wow! This is a game. Game on.
Yeah, she's also got extra time, by the way, extra minute. So
Game on. Game on. The attack is coming. Oof! 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 This is very, 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 very dangerous now. This looks extremely
Sujana,
dangerous.
can she get 4-0?
I think she can.
We gotta go king h8 now. Only move, right?
But this is not done.
Yeah,
There is a lot of stuff going on. Maurice would love this position.
those
Put it
bishops.
like this.
Who?
Maurice would
Oh
actually,
yes, yes.
he
those
would
bishops.
love this position because here there is a lot of things going on.
Slice and dice. Yes, if
that
you
he
miss,
would like. There is a lot of things going on. That was
not the best.
actually works. It works. It works.
Oh, that works too. Yeah, I was thinking take
Yeah.
it with the rock, but
It
the problem
works.
is anyway. This attack is too strong.
Yeah.
How did it get so good for white? Wow, the rook can't go back to c8. Beautifully done.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the thing with never giving up.
All right. So yeah, I didn't even see how good bishop takes was because I thought rook takes was better. Let's see how this happened because you were definitely in trouble, but then you just kept fighting. First of all, here, by the way, I would have tried to play this because
Yeah, that's a great move.
Yeah.
Just to basically get rid of the other bishop or at least
or have a
buy
good
some time, because
Yeah.
it's so much better for black if black is able to play h6, for example. So if you go back, can you go back a little bit in this game while we have it up?
Yeah,
Because
sure. To
I
where?
think here, yeah, the problem was that, yeah, take on g6. Yeah, there. When you have this here, take with the knight. Don't take like this. Take with the knight. So much safer. And then it's hard to get to the king. You know, this is not easy at all.
Yeah.
But that's a big mistake. But even if you go further on here, move. Now white is back in the game. You can see
Knight
some
g3.
counterplay.
Knight
Yeah,
g3 is not good.
Yeah, that's not a good move. It's better to when you are leading, like this is excellent. The knight is excellent there, because the best that can happen for black is that white takes this knight, because then you cannot have the same mating problems. So here you just need to keep on defending the knight, like rook c5, for example, is a typical move. That this knight is perfect, and then you need to get your king out, like king f7.
Yeah.
To avoid
bolster
what
this.
happened in the game. So if you look further on here,
Is there anything we could have done here though? Or we're not.
Yeah, no, you can.
Yeah, we could play rook
you
c4,
can-
right? No,
no,
bishop
no,
e6.
bishop a6. But you can do. You could have done like rook c6 is one move.
Yeah,
that
rook
works.
c6.
But also, we can go back to the basics. Like black is leading, so even knight back to f5 is a good move. Yes, get rid of the bishop, because then you are still leading. And now you can go like rook. I wouldn't do that because that is a little bit too much. You should keep the pawn on d4. But rook c6, for example, rook c6, a great move. Yeah.
And obviously, if you trade a pair of rooks, you're very happy as black. So yeah, this was a great game. I mean, I was really impressed by the quality of the games. You're really playing well. Is there still games going on, or are we done? Let's see. I think we still
think there are games.
more
Yeah,
games.
Yeah, we can have a look. What's going on? Oh,
Black's ahead here. Faith is up in exchange.
yeah. So this should be winning, but it's very important to like. You need to use the pieces need to cooperate. So you need to not just run with one pawn per time. You know, you need to work together with the pieces here, because otherwise you can easily lose those pawns. You know? And that's not a good thing. So it would have been better, for example, to go back with the king before you push the pawns. Like put the king on f6, and then you can start to push the pawns. Because now you can have this type of bind here that you can see here that can sometimes in blitz, you know, this can be a bit. I mean, black is still winning, but now black needs to find a couple of good moves.
Yeah, you don't want to lose those pawns.
Now, if you lose both pawns, actually you can end up in a theoretical drawn position.
Yeah.
And here you can see that black has problems, and this what can happen is that you lose some time when you're trying to solve those problems. In blitz, you know, blitz is blitz. And here you can see all kinds of practical problems for black now. So this is the right idea, trying to get back with the king. But yeah, it's not easy. It is really not easy. Excellent defending also by white. White has defended really nice here.
Very nice, yes.
Yeah, fighting.
That's the name of the. Oh, well, there'll be a draw. Oh, so close.
Yeah, but now it's blitz, you know, the last second.
Exactly, the blitz.
Everything can happen. You see?
Good.
But here it comes. I think they're doing good moves.
Faith got way better. She must be playing a lot. She's so much stronger than she used to be. Great job, Faith. You've been practicing, I can tell. Good.
But now it's tricky because now white is trying to win on time here.
Yeah.
So we'll
This will be able to do a draw. Yeah. Very good.
It was a draw by.
All right.
A draw is much better than to lose on time. So it's well done. It's not easy.
Congratulations to our winners. Sujana, 4 out of 4. What a fighting spirit. Liz Cassidy, great chess. that first game was really good against Night Night Daisy.
Yeah,
And
they played fantastic in that game as well, and she deserved to win it. And Christina also excellent, 3 out of 4. Yeah, well done.
yeah, let's see if there was anybody else who tied. Any final questions? That was a great session. As usual, the replay is going to be available. By the way, Daisy also tied for second with 3 out of 4. Well deserved. Very memorable first round game that you can also analyze with your coach. This is some great chess. Congratulations, everyone. Any questions before we move on and see you next time? Any questions?
Yeah.
Great
Any
job,
questions?
podcast.
And also remember to that you can check in the club. You know, the links are still there to the videos.
Yes.
And actually, yeah, you will put like the links there. That's excellent. So you can always check those, you know, if you want to know more about the French.
Yes, and I also put them in a Google Doc because sometimes that's easier for people. I see people already checking. Sujana, any words? Congratulations on your tournament win. Sujana's been playing with us for a while. Is this your first time you've won first place clear?
Yeah, I think I've won like second or third place before, but this is my first time I won first.
It was that fighting spirit that did it. Congrats.
Yeah.
So you're gonna start playing the French?
Yes.
Okay, watch those videos.
All right.
Yeah, watch the videos. And what about Jennifer? Will you start playing the French?
Oh God, yeah. That'll be tough for me, but I'll try it. Yes, I commit to trying it. Thanks again, Pontus. That was wonderful, and great job, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, enjoy and good luck, because I know that you have a lot of tournaments coming up now. The tournaments
That's true.
are starting to pile up. So really, best of luck for everyone in the tournaments. Yeah.
That's right.
Just remember to try your best and have fun, because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And if in case you win something or you do well in some tournaments, don't send us or write in the group, share the results, you know, the links. We love to hear about your tournament results.
By the way, we have a cover star in our class today, Sage, her name is Frances Marquez under the Zoom. She was just on the cover of Chess Life magazine. It's nice. A beautiful cover. Wow. It's a really, really nice one. I'll send a quick link to it. I'll put it in the group as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's lovely. Well done. Can you say something about it before we hang up? Do you want to say something about it, Francis?
I'm just like amazed that I was on the cover, and I'm definitely gonna try to work harder because of that. Like, that really motivated me.
Oh, I love that. Yes. You have such a great chess face. Like, your look is so intense. And I think that is really important, because to do well in classical chess, you've got to have concentration. I saw that in your face. I see that today with Bernice and who was she playing at that game that we were saying was really tough? Faith, by the way, has gotten a lot better. So Faith, what have you been doing? Are you still here? Maybe she had to leave.
Yeah,
Have you been working on your tactics or playing more? What have you been doing, Faith? God, she's shy. You can tell us later, Faith, but I noticed a big improvement in your play. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Oh, since she's on mute. There you are.
I've been practicing, doing some puzzles, and I've just been practicing with my coach.
Oh, you've been practicing with your coach and doing puzzles. Yeah, well, that's a formula to success. Okay, playing puzzles and practicing.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Great job, everyone. Okay, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thanks again, Pontus.
Yeah.
And I'll post the replay later today.
Excellent. Take care, girls.